Alright, hi people, it's Scsigs here, and I'm here to do an unboxing and review for you guys of the Marvel Legends Amazing Spider-Man from Amazing Spider-Man 2, aka Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. So yeah, you may also remember that I did a review of the SH figure art that came out earlier this year for him. And yeah, and you may notice that it's branded under the Amazing Spider-Man 2 rather than Spider-Man No Way Home. The reason for that is back when, this is a thing that Bandai and Tamashii Nations ran into when doing the SH figure arts. They wanted to brand it under the No Way Home banner rather than the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and they initially thought that they could make a head sculpt for Andrew Garfield. I think I mentioned this in the review for that. But due to them branding it under No Way Home, Andrew Garfield did not sign an agreement for toy manufacturers to use his likeness for any toys for some reason, but Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland obviously did. And for some reason, Andrew Garfield just didn't want to allow them the use of his likeness for some reason. So they took the head out, they repriced everything, they redid the packaging, and they took out a couple more hands and the separate mask piece from the SH figure arts. Hasbro found a loophole around this where, because Andrew Garfield had signed those contracts for toy likenesses and everything during the during the pre-production phase, I guess, of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, if you brand it under that, you can use his likeness. So yeah, I imagine that Bandai and Tamashii Nations may eventually re-release the Amazing Spider-Man 2 SH Figure Arts figure under the Amazing Spider-Man 2 branding at some point, and include the head sculpts that they had originally planned to include for him, as well as the extra hands and the mask that they were planning to include with him. But yeah, at some point in the future, and I kind of hope that they would. I also hope, though, if they do a accessories pack like they've been starting to do with certain figures, and just release the head and the extra hands and the mask, maybe a few other things as well, separately. So for people who already got the figure from the No Way Home version of it, could get those without having to pay tens more dollars than they really should for those. But yeah, by having to rebuy the entire figure. But yeah. But here we go. So yeah, that's my spiel about that out of the way. I also didn't intend on getting this when I did. It was just at Target when I went. So yeah, and it was the only one that I saw. So yeah. So you have the packaging with a picture of the Spider-Man from the Amazing Spider-Man 2 shoot. Also has the blue lightning from Electro. That's how you know it was branded under Amazing Spider-Man 2 rather than No Way Home. You got the Amazing Spider-Man 2 logo. Marvel Legends series, the Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, and then you got the Spider-Man logo right there. You got the figure itself right there, which looks cool. Only has a couple of interchangeable hands, and obviously his mask. But yeah. Then we got the back. You have a little spiel about the Amazing Spider-Man right there. Then picture of him from when they were doing photo shoots, I assume, with the stuntman probably, or Andrew Garfield in costume on a green screen and everything for the Amazing Spider-Man 2 release. But yeah, so I gotta open this, and it's in basically, I think, a blister pack is what maybe these are called, or maybe that's for when it's all plastic. Yeah, I made sure to grab this while I could. There was also a Matt Murdock figure from No Way Home, but I didn't really care to have that at this point. I'd rather have him maybe with the in a Daredevil suit with a swappable head. But yeah. Alright, so just to get these out of the plastic thing here, the interchangeable hands, his mask, and yeah, I'm going to do a comparison. I'm going to do a comparison with the SH Figure Arts in a second. So, yeah. So, yeah, see his accessories, basically the few accessories that he has. It's no different from the Japanese Spider-Man I did a video on. Really has one pair of swappable hands, only one fist for some reason though. But whatever. But yeah. So those aren't that bad. And then the mask head, which looks pretty good. I'll give it to them. They did a good amount of detailing and everything. In fact, the eyes look a little bigger than the SH Figure Arts. Not too much bigger. Maybe it's just how they're shaped. But yeah, and they did get the basic design down, but whew. If there's one thing I can give the SH Figure Arts, it's that the webs line up correctly like they should. Man, I did not expect this. Yeah, these webs are shifted over a little bit from where they should be in the middle. At least these two. So that's a defect in regards to the paint applications. Everything else is fine though on it. And here we go with the Andrew Garfield head on the Amazing Spider-Man 2 body. And I honestly think that this figure looks pretty good. I think that the colors are okay in regards to representing this Spider-Man. Nice sort of dark navy gray, and I know the camera may be brightening this a little bit, but so it's not showing its 100% true color. But yeah, it's a very dark kind of navy blue, almost purplish, to my eyes at least. And the red is a very dark red. So yeah, and looking at the likeness for Andrew Garfield, it looks like, yeah, it definitely looks like they based him more off of the No Way Home appearance, because he has this like 5 o'clock shadow on his face, and then his hair also looks more like it did in that film versus Amazing Spider-Man 2. Not to say his hair was that different in Amazing Spider-Man 2, but it was a bit different. But yeah, where he had it, like, I think a little shorter and everything and more crazy, whereas in No Way Home it was a bit more unkempt and longer than it was in Amazing Spider-Man 2 to show time had passed. Yeah. I'm going to try some with that head in a second. You guys can probably guess. So let's pop the Spider-Man head on. There we go. And there we go, with having the Spider-Man head on. So, yeah. And the part for where you pop it onto the neck looks a little larger than it should. It just may be the way that it's... Oh, okay, so the joint is movable. Okay, that makes sense. So move the joint in a good way and it's fine. But yeah, so that's not actually that bad. Just to take a look at more of the figure... That's not actually that bad. So yeah, I kind of like this. If you're looking for a cheaper alternative to the SH Figure Art, this isn't actually a bad figure to get. But yeah, so to do a direct comparison with the SH Figure Arts, they had a bit of a different design philosophy when doing the paint, whereas this is just more of a regular kind of, I think, matte paint maybe? I'm not sure though. For the red, on the SH Figure Art, the red's more shiny to match with the shininess of the suit in the movie. The blue is slightly different. This is more of a navy blue. This is more of kind of a purplish, indigo-ish type blue. On camera, it might look like the same shade, but yeah. You can definitely tell a very big difference in regards to the red paint, though. Obviously, this is more shiny with the light bouncing off of it. This is more just reflective of the light. Yeah. But they have a lot of similarities, obviously, because they're based off the same suit. This has a more generic design in regards to the back, I guess, rather than matching what the suit actually looks like. Let's compare it with the Japanese Spider-Man. Obviously, two different paint apps, but in regards to how they paint these things, it looks very similar, even though different body mold that they used for Japanese Spider-Man. But a very similar design philosophy in regards to where they paint, at least on the back here for his shoulder blades. So, yeah. But you can definitely just see this. And obviously, whichever figure you prefer is obviously up to preference. And that's a cool thing that they included on this. On both the SH Figuarts and this figure, they include slight molds for his web shooters, which is a thing that you can see in the movie as well. I actually like that. That's a noticeable thing on this Spider-Man in live action. Something that they kind of kept in mind for Tom Holland's first few suits is that they had his web shooters be very, very obvious by having the black holsters, I guess, for the web shooters around his wrists and everything. And obviously, the Iron Spider suit had the more gold painted ones, I think, and they're more obvious and everything. This, I like the web shooters on this suit because they blend into the suit pretty well, but you can still tell that they're there. It's a thing where it's a subtle thing, but I do actually kind of like it. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit is definitely one of the best live-action Spider-Man suits, no doubt. So, yeah. So, I want to try something. Oh. Okay. So, holy shit! I've never taken the head off this thing before. Bro. You can definitely tell that they were planning on having an Andrew Garfield head with this, because the ball joint here is skin colored. That's funny. It's almost the same skin. Okay, so I can't... The ball joint is a different size, so I can't really put it on this. Although if the ball joint were bigger, I think you could actually fit this head onto this figure, although it's a little slimmer than the Marvel Legends version. And it wouldn't actually be that bad. But yeah, for this figure, if they had included an Andrew Garfield head, they would have done what they did for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Tom Holland's, where they would have had a separate neck piece to switch out, so that halfway up the neck, it would turn into skin color to blend better with where the neck goes into the head. But yeah, yeah, that's just funny. But yeah, to give this guy an overall review, I think that this figure is actually pretty good. Oh yeah, I didn't do the the opposability. So head, you can move in a 360 and pretty much all around. There's also an adjustable thing in the neck, so you can just move it. Or not neck, in the head for where it fits in. Arms, you can do a pretty much over 90-degree angle. You got the butterfly joints, which don't want to move too much here. 360 on the arm right there. Elbows are on a double ball joint. Hands, you move in a 360, as well as back and forth for wherever they have the joints. So yeah. Torso, move back and forth like that. That's actually nice. Legs, almost a 90-degree angle. That is drop down hips, which much better than the Power Ranger figures have drop down hips. 360 there. You can tell that these are definitely made at a better factory than the Power Rangers Lightning Collection figures. But yeah, which is sad for the Lightning Collection. But yeah, double ball joints in the knees. And then back and forth with the feet. You can break the ankle too, just like pretty much every other Hasbro figure like this one. But yeah, but that's basically it for that. To give an overall review, like I started to, I think that this figure is perfectly good, it's a perfectly acceptable substitute for the SH Figuarts if you don't want to get that. I personally really like the SH Figuarts line, so of course I was going to get it. But it has a leg up over the SH Figuarts as well, where it includes an Andrew Garfield head, but it does not have as many accessories as the SH Figuarts. And I think the SH Figuarts is maybe a little bit more accurate in terms of capturing Andrew Garfield's physique. But yeah. But, you know, at the very least it has an Andrew Garfield head if you'd rather have that. It's also at a cheaper price point. How much did I buy this at? I think it was like somewhere between $20 and $25 when I bought it. So yeah, if you can find it, I would recommend getting it if you do want this figure. If you're looking for this figure, go get it if you happen to spot it, or buy it online, or wherever you're getting it from. So, yeah, it's a perfectly acceptable substitute, in my opinion, for the SH Figuarts. Although, they did not paint the bottoms of his boots black like the SH Figuarts did. But yeah, granted, stopped expecting that when the Power Ranger figures stopped doing that. But yeah, that's basically it. I may get the Tom Holland Spider-Man. Maybe not the one from No Way Home, or the integrated suit, but maybe if they make the one from the beginning of the movie up until halfway, or maybe the all-new red and blue suit. At some point I may get that. May get Tobey Maguire's Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man figure from this line, but I don't know. That's just Figuarts just does it for me, so I don't know. But yeah, but the thing is, if the SH Figuarts had come with the Andrew Garfield head, I wouldn't have felt the need to get this. That is pretty much the only leg up this figure has. And like I said, I do think that they captured Andrew Garfield's likeness pretty well with this figure. It's like they scanned his head and then just used that data to recreate it. And again, you can tell this is more based on the No Way Home, portrayal of the character, I guess, versus Amazing Spider-Man 2. But it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, unless you want a version of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man with a head that's more representative of Amazing Spider-Man 2. But yeah. So yeah, not really much else to say. So links in the description, all my shit. Subscribe if you want, and I'll see you guys in the next one.